All right, let's transfer over to some Q&A. And Brian, I think you've got our first question for us.
We do, and we get this question often, is why should I, what is the difference? Like our church does this Ramsey thing, why should I be involved with Ramsey Plus? Or what difference would that make in our church? Josh, you got an answer for that?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the big things that we've seen is whenever families start to do this on board with each other, they really start to see the community develop around them. And FPU can still be offered inside of these churches. We know that FPU is a big way to engage with people, and that is still included. And hopefully that answers your question.
It does. The other thing that always comes to my mind is when you offer financial peace alone, and people think of it as that emergency class, and you know, it's that thing that I do when I have money troubles. There's so many people that are not going to go just to that. But it's when you create this culture that we're in a unified purpose, that the whole church is doing this together, like it's not just me. We're all doing this together. Ramsey Plus creates that culture. And so people will start where they feel comfortable, and they can engage wherever they're at any place in time.
Because when everybody does it together, it's no longer for those people with that problem, because we all need to improve in the area of finances.
Now, there was a question that came up on chat privately earlier is there an additional cost for families if a church purchases the site license? And I want to answer that. There's not an additional cost for the family at all if a church decides to go with one of the options with the site license. So that investment for the church is to provide it for all their people on their behalf. So there's not an additional cost for that family to get into Ramsey Plus, and there's no additional cost to do FPU classes. That is included in that investment.
Josh, can I add something
Yeah,
there?
absolutely.
I just want to encourage congregations to consider what a vehicle that is to reach out to families in your community. Finances are a pain point for every family in every neighborhood right now, and if churches empower outreach through getting a Ramsey Plus platform, then you can invite people to come find peace and healing and hope through engaging in classes. So it's a great outreach tool as well.
That's right. That's right. Great outreach tool for sure. All right, let's see here. All right, so explain a little bit more about does the cost of, and thank you, Stacy, for asking the question here. So does the cost of Ramsey Plus include the FPU classes, or is that a separate cost? Can you explain that more? Absolutely. The investment for Ramsey Plus for the church does include everything. So it includes FPU classes, it includes all the courses, it includes all the budget, every dollar app, the track app, everything is included. So FPU classes are not an additional expense to run those as a part of this. So hopefully I answered your question, Stacy. If I didn't, then we can talk later, and I appreciate you being here on Zoom. So any questions in the room as well?
Can you clarify the cost for a 500-member church at the discounted price?
Yes, Brian. So, and repeat. I'm going to repeat the question so that everybody on Zoom can hear. What is the investment and the cost for a 500-member church, and explain
with the early bird discount
what the early bird discount, the total would be?
$2,500.
Yeah.
That is correct. The normal cost for Ramsey Plus would be $3,000 that we're doing this thing for you. If you do the early bird discount, it would be $2,500.
Can I add something? I hate to keep jumping in,
No,
gentlemen.
please do. Jump in.
But one thing we're really grateful for is when churches come together, we can leverage each other's strength to optimize impact. One way that we're seeing that through Margin San Antonio is that churches and individuals have donated to a scholarship fund. And there's a lot of churches that are under 500 people that have more questions than answers right now. Those not only regard money, but they also regard people. And there is a scholarship fund set up that is designed to assist and empower congregations that are intimidated by that $2,500 price point. We want to empower care for families in your congregation and reaching out to your community. We also want to invite you that if you are a congregation or you're an individual that wants to seek see financial peace and healing in churches and through churches. Our goal for that scholarship fund is to raise $110,000. So we're not yet halfway there, but we do have a lot of people that are interested. And if you're an individual or a church that would like to empower congregations that don't have the means that you have, then please let us know.
And Mitchell, just on that, you don't know how many families that may be waiting for an opportunity to do this in your congregation.
Oh, I guarantee there are.
Absolutely.
You don't know the number, but they are there.
They are there.
One of the questions from Kirk, thanks again for chiming in here. How long does the site license last? The site license for Ramsey Plus, when you purchase that, is an annual license for all of your people. And we do have churches that are renewing that license each year. And Kent actually works on the team that helps those churches after they purchase. So I want to come back to that for a second, because we don't just give this to you and say good luck. When you purchase this on behalf of your people, we want to walk with you, and we want to help you implement this. People like Kent on our team, they're called relationship managers. Mitchell, you said like that's...
It's a great title.
Yeah.
Basically, professional friend. I'm trying not to cut it.
So our relationship managers take care of those churches for 1 year, and then the church can decide if they would like to renew again for multiple years. There is another question around, does the site license include FPU study material? So yes and no. So with Ramsey Plus, we have all of our digital resources online, everything from coordinator guides to membership guides. Everything is available, included in the membership online for free. Some people still like to have the physical workbook, and we do have those available for purchase for the member and the coordinator if you would like those. For the member, the workbook is a $10 purchase. Some people are purchasing those through their account, and then some churches are purchasing that for their members. It just depends, and Kent can certainly help you answer those questions if that fits with what you need.
Yeah, that's just one of many questions that we'll help you with after you join.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're going to take 2 more questions, and then we're going to go to the next section. So, Kent, can you cover the timeline again really briefly?
Sure. Ross, can you take me back to that slide?
Perfect.
All right, so again, the idea is that as soon as possible, you want to join. Because the sooner you join, the more help you're going to get, and the more time you're going to have to process that help, not only as church leaders, but your volunteers. Then we want to get your key people, staff, key volunteers, elders, deacon, whatever a key person is in your church, even some key people that don't have official titles can be really important. We want to get them into Ramsey Plus. We want to get them exploring Financial Peace University so that they can get a taste of what this is like for themselves. Because the most powerful promotion you have is the social networks in your church having their own personal experience in these resources and going, man, I know a lot of people that need this just like me. Then in July, as a group of churches, we're going to start promoting all together at the same time. It's going to start out kind of soft, and it'll get louder and louder as we head into the fall. And then in August, we're going to encourage every church that's participating to go live and open up your registration and your enrollments. That's going to look a little different from church to church, but we want to get everybody in. Then, following that, you can offer some FPU classes to give people kind of that guided tour through the content and have interaction with a local leader, someone that they know from your church, and maybe even some outreach into your community. That will be amazing. And then that will head up into Thanksgiving, where at some point, we're still working on the plans, we're going to have a big celebration that will help us all really kind of acknowledge the life change that has started, because people will repeat the behavior you notice.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we've answered the questions on the chat. If you have other questions, then we can certainly reach out to you individually. In fact, Brian we have a link that you can schedule an appointment with him and talk more in details, which we're going to be putting up here in a few minutes.
Love to talk to each and every one of you. The one other thing too, I just want to say real quick is this is just not for families that are hurting. Mm-hmm. Like, there are materials here for families that are doing well as well. Like, there is something in Ramsey Plus, no matter where you're at in your financial walk, there's something there to help us be better. And we can always do better.
Perfect.
Well, I want to add to that. Now, I'm just going to, as we close this time, I'll say the legacy portion of Ramsey Plus has some very rich biblical resources that support us and support Christian families and individuals in discerning how to use their money in a way that's generational, which every family and church family needs to consider. I will add, too, that our congregation got a site license, and we have already paid for it in the amount of people who have gone through the Ramsey classes. And so there's only one word for that, gentlemen. It's value, right? And we're grateful for that. So
Absolutely.
Thank you all for your leadership and your